Good afternoon, my name is Diana Lucia Velasco. Could you tell me your full name, please?
Good afternoon, of course. My full name is Mayra Alejandra Diaz Barbosa.
I want shall I call you?
Call me Alejandra, please.
That's fine, thank you. Now, in this first part of the exam, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about a hometown. What is your hometown?
My hometown is in Colombia. I live in the capital of the country, Bogota.
Okay. What is the oldest place in your hometown?
The oldest places in Bogota is La Plaza de Bolívar and other places that are located in the city center.
What is this? What is there for a foreigner to do or see in your hometown?
Foreigners in my city can go sightseeing in city center. They usually go sightseeing in that place.
Who called your hometown be improved?
All right. Well, I think it can improve with the help of the government, in which they provide more education and health to citizens. Security is also important. There are many cases in which they still do a lack of police in the streets.
Do you think your hometown is a good place to bring up children?
Well, I don't think so. The children have to take care of them very well. For being the capital, I think it is very insecure and could be dangerous for the children.
Now, let's talk about going out. Do you often go out in the evening?
I occasionally go out at night with friends to a special event they perform in the city, such as the night bicycle.
What do you like to do when you go out?
I like to visit historical places to travel to nearby towns of Bogota.
Do you prefer going out in your own or with friends?
Well, I prefer to go out with friends. Memories are better that way.
Where do most young people like to go out in your country?
Um, yes, many young people like to go out to dance, others to do some different activities like walking around the city, go go going to restaurants or traveling with friends to other cities and getting to know. Doing extreme sports is an activity that really like now in this moment.
Now, let's move on the second part of the exam. I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes before you start. You will have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You can make some note if you want. Do you do you understand? Do you
Yes,
understand?
I understand.
Okay. Uh, Here's a pencil and a paper um, for written notes, and here is your topic. I would like you to talk about a walk you have recently read.
Okay, okay, I write it. I write, right.
What meaning? Mm, okay. 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Um, let's stop. Okay. Alright, remember you have 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I will tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please? Okay, start.
All right. Well, I like to talk about the book I read recently. It's called Game of Thrones. It is a book, a fantasy book, in which conflict is generated by obtaining the throne and being the king. The writer of the book is American, and his name is George R. Martin. Well, the story was about the kingdom in which there were seven lords with a house that represented them. All of them should be loyal of their king. Whoever events that were developed that created conflict between two houses. The lord who was loyal to the king had to go to the kingdom to serve him, leaving his family alone.
One
This
minute.
generated problems between the king's wife and the lord, who resulted was a close friend of the king. This fight is the beginning of the next four books. The book it is a very good book because thanks to its plot they made a television series which has been the most watched in in the world. I recommend this book because it is very good, and in the
10 minutes.
story
10 seconds.
there are more important aspects that are now seen in the series.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. How many books do you read per year?
Per year I read between 4 or 5 books.
Okay, now we have been talking about a book you have recently read and I would like to ask you some more general questions relate to the topic. First of all, let's talk about reading. Why do you think people don't like reading?
Well, I think that people do not like to read because they are not used to reading, because it is practice to which time must be dedicated. Reading is very important, but it, it is not encouraged in schools, and it should be.
Okay. Do you think people read less nowadays? Why?
Yes, I think that for many people it is not in their interest to read. They prefer to spend their time doing other things.
What can parents to do encourage children to read?
Well, this is practice that should be encouraged both at home and at school. It is important that children read from small because helps the brain and concentration. The parents can encourage her with stories of children's interests, reading and teaching them how fun it becomes.
Okay, thank
Thank
you. That is the end of the speaking test.
you very much. Afternoon, my name is Alejandra Diaz. Could you tell me your full name, please?
Good afternoon. My full name is Diana Lucia Velasco Castellanos.
And what shall I call you?
You can call me Diana.
Can I check your identification?
Yes, of course.
That's fine, thank you. Okay, now, in this first part of the exam, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about weather. What's your favorite kind of weather?
My favorite weather is winter. I love cold. I am very little on the sun of the sun.
What is the climate like in your country?
Well, in my country, weather is just rain and sun. We don't have a station because we live near the Ecuadorian line. The country is divided between hot and cold. For example, the Caribbean and the plain is very hot, um, and doesn't rain much. In departments, for example, Boyacá and Cundinamarca, the same day it can rain a hard can, yet a lot of sun.
Does the weather affect people's lives in your country?
And the weather affects a lot in my country. When it rains a lot, there are floods in the valleys. There are landslides. Food is a lot. There are destroyed houses. Many families are left homeless and other things. And when is a very sun, there is a storage of water, animals dead, and there is no food. People suffer for deshydratations and sometimes from malnutrition. Uh, they canon banned many people find this is ground and other things.
Is there any type of weather you really don't like?
Uh, I don't like the sun. Therefore, I don't like summer. I summer when I go to hot ground. I don't like feeling hot, and I don't like squared, squarish.
Does bad weather ever affect transport in your country?
Totally. This happens when it rains a lot. For example, in my city, Bogota, there is a trancón. How do you? I don't know how do you say trancón in English, but all the time trancón. And if it rains, it's worse. If you take 1 hour from work at home for home, it takes 2 hours to rain.
Now, let's talk about food. What's your favorite food?
Uh, I have many favorite foods. At home, I love chicken rice, a lot of tomato sauce. When I go out, I love to eat hamburger.
What are some traditional food in your country?
In my country has many typical dishes. Each region of the country has its traditional food. Um, for example, the ajiaco here in Bogota, the paisa tray in Medellin, the bean llanera in Villavicencio, the fried fish on the coast, sancocho santanderiano in Bucaramanga, the pliget here in Bogota, for example, or Tolima, the egg arepa, and many more foods.
Do you have a healthy diet?
So because I eat most everything, I take care of myself in sodas and salt, in fried foods, some sweets.
Now, let's move on to the second part of the exam. I'm going to give you a topic and I like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you start, you will have 1 minute to think about what are you going to say. You can make some notes if you want. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Here is a pencil and a paper for writing notes, and here is your topic. I would like you to talk about a person
Second,
who you like to
one,
work or study.
1 minute. Okay. Mm, mm, um,
time.
Stop.
All right, remember, you have one to
Um,
2 minutes for this,
okay,
so don't worry if you
no me,
stop you.
no me
I
respect.
will tell you
Mm,
when the time is
okay,
up. Can you start speaking now, please?
okay. Okay. The time 2 minutes. Uh, bueno. Uh, well, she's a great friend of the world. We meet at Falabella Company. Her name is Alejandra Cerquera. She's a contemporary of mine. We work only on the weekends. She started working long before me in the company. Um, we work together in the latest sections of the store. We had to organize to a store, order the clothes and service customers. I like working with her because we lunch all the time. She always has a smile that motivates people. Um, um, she is very, very, very funny with co-workers, and her energy is spectacular. I learned to understand people more. Um, no less or selfish, and always smile. She in particular because I get along very well with her. Uh, People at work are difficult. Many of them are big. They are ladies. I'm so sorry. Not 2 minutes. Ladies, and others are hypocritical. I don't know pronounce hypocritical people. And no more.
Time.
The time.
Thank you. How long have you known in this person?
Um, okay. We here we have now each other for about 2 years.
Fine. Now, we have been talking about a book about a person would you like to work or study with, and I would like to ask you some more general questions related to the topic. First of all, do you like to work alone or with partners?
I like to work sometimes alone and sometimes as a couple because many times working alone is better, but two need um, help think better than alone.
What do you think of teamwork and team spirit?
Finding a good team is fantastic, but it's very, very difficult to find. The team spirit is good when all the members bring a grain of sand so that everything goes well.
What kind of people are good to work with?
For me, working with the people uh, who knew the value of things. People who want to get ahead, or people who are not lazy or at least who do their things.
What are the advantages of studying by yourself?
Um, and it advantages for me, here is no stress for people who disgrace on something. uh, you manage your time and you do think as you want.
Uh, to final, thank you. That is the end of the speaking test. Thank you very much.
Thank you.